Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to start the webinar at exactly 3:05 p.m. Just waiting for many people to join. Thank you. Hi everyone, for those of you who have just joined, welcome to today's session. My name is Amna and we are going to start the webinar at exactly 3:05 p.m. We're just waiting for a few more people to join. Thank you. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining in. For those of you who just joined us, my name is Amna and we are going to be starting the webinar in exactly 3 minutes at 3:05. Thank you. All right. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Amna Chandna and I'm a Senior EducationUSA Advisor at the Karachi office. I graduated from the University of Maryland, College Park with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and went on to complete my MBA from IB Karachi. In today's session, we are going to be talking about all things grad school related, from academic expectations to research culture to campus resources, cultural transition, and how to maintain work-life balance. Therefore, this webinar is ideal for prospective graduate students seeking practical guidance and personal perspectives to better understand the US graduate school experience and learn how to set yourself up for success. However, before we begin, I would like to quickly tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. Education USA is a part of the US Department of State network. We have more than 400 international student advising centers in more than 170 countries across the world. Education USA Pakistan provides free advising services to all Pakistani students who are interested in pursuing their bachelor's, master's, or PhD from the United States. Education USA is your official source of accurate, complete, and up-to-date information on all US higher education. If you would like to register for our mailing list and get updates about our upcoming events and webinars and sessions similar to the one today, then please click on the link displayed on the screen and sign up for our free advising services so that you know about all the information that we are going to be disseminating in the upcoming weeks, and you can be better prepared for your US application process. Moreover, we also have an app that works like WhatsApp. You can use our app to communicate with our US Education USA advisors Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All you have to do is scan the QR code shown on the screen and download the application. Thank you. Here is a list of some sample webinars that we conduct for our students from time to time. As you can see, we conduct webinars and online sessions that students can attend from the comfort of their home, as well as in-person sessions on a variety of different topics pertaining to how to write a statement of purpose, or to PhD or not to PhD, applying for graduate studies, the holistic application process. So there's a lot of great information that is available through these webinars, and we highly encourage our students to attend so that they can find out more about the entire application process and be more confident and prepared when it comes to application submission timelines. Now, at a glance, the US application process can seem a bit daunting, which is why Education USA has broken down this entire process into 5 simple steps for you. As you can see, step 1 is researching your options, step 2 is financing your studies, step 3 is completing your application, step 4 is applying for your student visa, and step 5 is preparing to depart. The good news is that regardless of which of these steps you are on, be it the fact that you are still thinking about applying, or you've already applied and are in the process of applying for your visa, or you are planning on applying this fall and you're already researching your options, whichever step you are on, we are here to help you out throughout every step in this entire horizontal trajectory. So please feel free to reach out to us for free advising on how to maximize your chances of getting into your target schools. All right. Oftentimes we ask ourselves, why do students want to study in the United States? And some of the most popular answers that we've received historically are recognition, of course. American degrees are recognized globally. The second one is quality. The US education system is renowned for its outstanding academic standards and dynamic curriculum. There's also the diversity of student life, because US campuses are not just home to some of the best and top-notch universities, but they're also offering an amazing campus life that is vibrant and diverse. Living in dormitories on campus along with attending on-campus events offers students a wide range of experiences and opportunities to learn and grow. The next one is flexibility. If you're somebody who wants to pursue multiple majors or who wants to pursue something that is different from the ordinary, then this is the perfect place for you to go, because the US offers a lot of flexibility when it comes to choosing your majors, choosing your minors, the duration of your degree, the way your degree progression will continue with your supervisor at grad school, and so much more. So always make sure that you're looking at different programs and doing thorough research before choosing which ones to apply to, because there's a lot of different options and there's a lot of flexibility available to international students who are interested in studying in the United States for their master's and PhD especially. The next one is diversity. The US universities are home to some of the most diverse students from across the world, and this will allow you to grow personally as well as professionally and create future professional networks that will help you find job opportunities, that will help you grow professionally, and that will help you really maximize your experience and optimize it at a US university. Finally, one of the most popular reasons is funding. The US remains one of the most generous countries in the world when it comes to funding, be it through financial aid or scholarships. And there's different types of scholarships, different types of aid that are available to international students as well. So if you want to know more about financing and how you can look at funding your degree and funding your education, please get in touch with us at the end of the session, and we would be happy to assist you through a one-on-one advising session. All right, so when you think about pursuing a graduate degree, the first question is, do you want to do a master's degree or do you want to do a PhD degree? And oftentimes students don't quite know the differences between both of them. So here's a very simple slide making it extremely easy to understand the basic differences and the pros and cons of each of these degrees. As you can see on the screen, a master's degree is a second cycle academic degree and the first level of graduate study, which means it's usually done after a bachelor's and before a PhD if somebody goes on to pursue doctoral studies. A PhD, meanwhile, or a Doctor of Philosophy, is considered terminal degrees, and these are the highest degrees that you can earn. These are research-based academic degrees, which are awarded in many different fields. Again, if you want to explore the different types of PhDs that are available out there, feel free to set up a session with us and we can guide you in more detail about your particular area of interest when it comes to PhDs. Now, what are some of the benefits of getting a master's degree? Well, it's less time and it costs less as well than a PhD in terms of the number of years that you would have to commit to and also the cost per year that you would incur. These are more career oriented than a PhD. They have greater employment opportunities. They may lead to greater career advancement. So if you're somebody who just wants to become an expert in the field that you're already currently employed in, a master's is a great option for you. If you want to learn a new skill and you don't want to go through the entire process of getting, a new bachelor's degree in that field, and you can always look for a master's degree where you can do foundation courses to make up for any deficiencies that you might have, and then commence a complete master's degree. However, if you are somebody who wants to enhance your transferable skills like critical reasoning, problem solving, and in depth analysis, or if you're somebody who wants to contribute primary brand new research to the field that they are in because you have some great questions that you want answered and that you think you can help answer, then a PhD is better for you, right? When it comes to the way that the degrees are shaped, a master's degree may or may not have a thesis, but a PhD will always have a comprehensive exam and a completion of dissertation, right? How long does it take to get a master's degree? There is a 1 year master's degree, there are 2 years master's degrees. So there are full-time master's degrees, there are part-time master's degrees. So at the end of the day, you really need to know what are your own goals and what are your preferences when it comes to which kind of a master's you are interested in. Whereas with PhDs, this is something that not most people know, but there are different kinds of PhDs as well. Not all PhD degrees are 5 years. There are PhD degrees that can take 3 to 5 years, so they can even be finished in 3.5 years. Those are called professional doctorate degrees, like an EDD or DBA. So if you are interested in academic research and in becoming a future faculty member and in teaching and in the academia side, then academic research-based PhD degree is the one for you. But if you're somebody who wants to change the policies in the field that you work in, who wants to be at the managerial level or at the administrative leadership level in the field that you are in, and you still want a doctorate degree, then a professional PhD might be the right choice for you. So again, make sure you know what the differences are between a professional PhD and an academic research-oriented PhD, a 1 year master's, a 2 year master's, before you commit to any programs. Now, when we think about finding the right program, it's important to understand that there are more than one right programs for you. The US has more than 4,500 universities, and there are several programs that will be a great fit for you. So when it comes to choosing which programs to apply for, because of course you as a one person cannot apply to all 4,500, then you have to focus on certain things that match your priorities and your criteria. The first one is your research interest. You have to look at the university's graduate school offerings and see which of the degrees aligns best with your research interests. You also have to focus on your career goals, how big or small a program you want to enroll in, the kind of funding opportunities that they have available, and when are their applications due, and what do their applications require. For example, if you're somebody who does not want to give the GRE, then you have to look for schools that don't require the GRE. But if you're somebody who has an excellent GRE score, 335, then you definitely want to focus on universities that prioritize the GRE and that will appreciate you for not just taking it, but also for performing so well in it. Meanwhile, while the GRE is not required at every school, we as advisors do recommend that you do give the GRE at least once so that you know where you stand. And if you have a solid GRE score, that will help you further strengthen your application. If you want to know more about the importance of the GRE, how to prepare for the GRE, when to take the GRE, please feel free to set up an advising session with us and we can guide you one-on-one in more detail about what will work best for your profile. Okay, here are some documents that are commonly required when it comes to graduate school applications. You need the academic transcripts from your undergrad, from your high school. You need to submit a personal statement or a statement of purpose. You need letters of recommendation. Now, different programs have different requirements when it comes to letters of recommendation. Some schools will ask for professors' letters of recommendation. Some schools will ask for professional letters of recommendation. So you really have to see which university has what policy when it comes to LORs. The next one is test scores. Like I said, the GRE is not required everywhere, but at the same time, it is an important component of the application cycle, especially if you can use it to, kind of offset any weaknesses in your profile. For example, if your undergrad GPA was less than it should have been, and you think you could have done better, but unfortunately, due to whatever circumstances, be it personal or situation, you weren't able to secure a high enough GPA, then you can always try to do extraordinarily well on the GRE, and that will show universities that even though your undergrad GPA might not be as high as it should have been, your GRE score indicates that you are ready for the kind of work that they will require you to do at the master's and PhD level. Additionally, there's also a research statement. Some universities want you to submit a research proposal, especially for PhDs, or they want you to submit some sort of statement explaining what kind of research you wish to undertake or what are the goals that you are entering this program with. Some universities and programs might ask you for writing samples for which you can submit previously, graded assignments, or you can look at different writing samples that you could submit, be it an article that was published or some blog that you maintain. So there's different requirements when it comes to writing samples as well. It's always best to understand what your university is looking for and then submit the right kind of writing sample. And finally, there's your CV. So CV and resume are two different things, and it's important to understand the differences between the CV and a resume and know which one you qualify for based on how long you have been working, the kind of work that you have done, and the kind of program that you are applying to. If you want to know more about the differences between a CV and a resume, once again, we've done a whole session covering that. It's available on our YouTube page. So please visit Education USA Pakistan's YouTube page and you'll be able to find a whole detailed session explaining the differences between the two and how to know which one is the right fit for you. All right, academic expectations. The biggest difference between an undergraduate and a graduate degree, especially in the United States, is that at the graduate level, universities and professors expect you to manage your own learning and to contribute original ideas. The understanding is that you've spent at least 4 years in a university, be it in the United States or abroad, and you know the basics of the field that you are doing your graduate degree in. And perhaps you even have some work experience that you're coming in with. And universities and professors encourage discussion and cross collaboration to further enhance the level of learning that takes place within the classroom. So please go in prepared that you are expected to independently learn the concepts that are being taught in class. If you need help, you will need to ask for it. Your professors will expect you to kind of self-time yourself when it comes to submissions and assignments and research submissions and research benchmarks and metrics and goals. The second thing is class participation. Even at the graduate level, US universities and professors expect you to actively be involved in discussions, and this is often encouraged and usually graded. So there is the class participation grade, a portion of your overall class grade that is assigned specially to class participation, and again, the expression of your ideas and thoughts and estimations is encouraged within the classroom. So please go in prepared that you will be asked to contribute your original ideas and to share your thoughts about the research paper that you might be studying or some article that you might have been assigned as homework or any other assignment that you might be doing in class. All right, next is academic integrity. Plagiarism is taken extremely seriously, so please make sure Even if you are extra careful with the content, you have to also cite your sources properly. Sometimes students will write original content, but they will mess up in the, bibliography. So please make sure that at the end of your assignment, you make sure to credit every paper, every author whose work you might have referred to in compiling your own research paper or assignment. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the research culture in the United States. So there are assistantships and lab work, which means that you may work as an RA or a research assistant, helping with faculty-led projects. There's also a lot of emphasis on faculty relationships because professors are approachable, but they expect professionalism and expect you to take initiative. What this means is that if you need something from your professor, you are going to actually go ahead and ask for it. They will not know whether or not you want something additional, be it additional help or any kind of guidance or a good reference, for any kind of internship that you might be applying for as a part of your degree. So whatever it is that you need within and outside the classroom, you will need to take the initiative and approach your faculty member. And chances are they will be more than happy to accommodate your request as long as you give them ample time. So please make sure if you're reaching out to your faculty members for any kind of assistance, you give them at least 24 to 48 hours to respond via email, and that you give them, if you're asking them for a letter of recommendation, the ideal time is at least 2 weeks of notice, because sometimes they might have exams going on, sometimes they might be traveling for personal reasons, sometimes they might just not be available to write that letter. So don't assume that they will be available all the time, and make sure you plan ahead and you kind of like you let them know what the requirements are of the assistance that you need and by when do you need it. Finally, originality and innovation are extremely important in the US educational culture, and a lot of emphasis is placed on producing new knowledge or creative work, especially at the graduate level. If you're going for a master's or PhD, the expectation is that you are going to come up with some new ideas, some new unique perspectives, unique approaches that will help solve the problems that already exist within the applications of the field that you are working in. What this means is that if you are an economist, for example, then you are expected to contribute to the existing theorems or theories or approaches with some unique insights, with some different experiences. Anything that is original is always appreciated as long as it is conveyed in a professional and concise manner. Now, the big question, how to pay for graduate school. Like I said, there are more than 4,000 universities in the United States, so there's a lot of variety in merit-based, need-based, and institutional funding. What this means is that you need to focus on looking for the best financial fit college, depending on your budget and the total cost of attendance. Now, here's an important mistake that students make that sometimes costs them the entire academic year, and they end up taking a gap year to reapply. The total cost of attendance. Sometimes students, what they do is they assume that the tuition is the only cost that they will have to incur, and they don't factor in the fact that they will have to pay for housing, they will have to pay for food, they will have to pay for transportation across the city or campus, they will have to pay for books and any other small expenses, even insurance. So you have to budget all of these as well, and this is what total cost of attendance is called. So tuition is just the amount that you pay for enrolling at the university, and total cost includes all these other extra costs that you incur. You should always look at the total cost of an institution because this will vary depending on the location. If you are applying to one of the bigger cities in America, like San Francisco or New York or Washington D.C., these are more expensive to live in. The rents are higher. Meals might be more expensive. Transportation might be more expensive. So you have to budget for that. Whereas if you're applying to a smaller city, which is not as expensive to live in, then obviously your total cost of attendance will be lower. Additionally, if you know for a fact that you have a limited budget that you are working with and you won't be able to afford the entire tuition or you will need assistance with the remaining costs, you need to look for programs that have guaranteed funding. What does this mean? This means that at the graduate level, there are many programs that have either tuition waivers or monthly stipends. Or fellowships and grants. You have these options available. It's all a matter of making sure you research them, look for them, and choose the programs and the universities that can give you the funding that is needed for you to pursue your education in the US. Graduate assistantships are basically appointed to students to provide service in the form of employment to the institution. In exchange for their services, they are either in the form of teaching or research. An assistantship might provide a monthly salary, tuition remission, an institutional contribution towards mandatory fees, or the graduate assistant only health insurance premium. What this means is while you are studying there, you have the option to apply for TA-ships and RH-ships. If you get selected for a TA-ship or an RA-ship, then you will get any of these bullet points as a reward for your time and for your effort that you put into the teaching and research position that you have been awarded. However, please understand that these are highly sought after. A lot of the international students from across the world will be, applying for the TA-ships and the RA-ships. So you need to make sure you have a solid profile and ideally some teaching experience, which will, kind of optimize your chances of getting selected. A fellowship basically provides financial support to graduate students, and these are usually merit-based internal and external awards to support a student in a full-time course of study. Apart from the options that we've already discussed, there is also another great option that you have available, which is called the Fulbright Scholarship. The Fulbright Scholarship is, awarded to Pakistani students who wish to pursue their master's and PhD in the United States. It's a fully funded merit-focused scholarship that requires you to take the GRE. So in order to apply for the Fulbright, you will need to take the GRE and secure a minimum of 145 in the verbal section and a minimum of 145 in the quantitative section as well. So please make sure you take your GRE ahead of time and have the scores that are required to apply. And also remember that it is a merit-based scholarship, which means that people with higher GRE scores and better profiles will be obviously at an advantage as compared to people with lower GRE scores. So you don't need to just meet the minimum. You need to also try to perform your best and also write an excellent essay and optimize your application in such a way that you are competitive when it comes to the scholarship. So this year, the deadline to apply for the Fulbright Scholarship was April 1st. So please keep this in mind and start preparing ahead of time. If you need any further information or guidance on how to apply for the Fulbright Scholarship, what are the other additional requirements and eligibility criteria, please email us and I will be happy to assist you. All right, another important point for today, time management. So at the graduate level, life is different from the undergrad level, of course. At the undergraduate level, most of the students don't have to worry about family expenses or, the cost of like supporting family members, be it elderly parents or a spouse or children, their schooling, the fees that are associated with like utilities and, bill payments and everything. So if you are going to the US for a graduate degree, you will be required to juggle classes, research, and maybe a job and assistantship in addition to having any dependents that you might have accompany you. And even if you don't have dependents accompanying you while you are studying there, you might still have, responsibilities back home that will require your time, be it a virtual phone call or like any kind of financial assistance that you provide or any kind of, work that you have to manage remotely for your family. So whatever it is that you are doing, just remember that your first priority for the entirety of your stay in the United States is to maintain your full-time F1 student status and to focus on your studies. But you will have to juggle your degree with the other commitments that you will be engaged in. So go in with this mindset that you will need to balance multiple responsibilities at the same time, and you should know how you will prioritize each one and how you will distribute your time and your attention between the different varying responsibilities. The second one is goal setting. One is the easiest way to achieve deadlines and to kind of like make sure you don't fall behind is to break tasks into manageable steps and use tools like calendars and to-do lists and alarms and Google Calendar alerts to remind you about important upcoming deadlines so that you can complete everything on time. Additionally, US campuses have wellness resources and they do encourage students to prioritize their rest and recreation as well. You are not just there to study, you're also there to, enjoy yourself, have a good time, engage with the students from different parts of the world who you are studying with, learn from them, tell them a little bit about your background, your research interests, your future plans, and just kind of like, really make the most out of this unique, diverse, multicultural experience that you have. So please make sure you're also having social engagements in your calendar and you are balancing those along with your work assignments, along with any TA-ship and RA-ship deadlines that you are, committed to, so that you can really enjoy the entire experience and you can leave more enriched than you came in. Next, Like I said, campus resources are not just limited to recreation centers, they also have academic support centers. So there are writing centers, tutoring services, multiple libraries for academic success. The university that I went to had 12 libraries on campus. So we were spoiled when it came to choosing which library to study in. And most of the time, we often chose the library that was closest to our department building. But yeah, you have a lot of different libraries to choose from. If you need anybody to review your essays, there are writing centers where there are peer tutors available to give you unique and valuable insights on your writing. And if you are struggling with any mathematical concepts, you can also find tutoring services. In addition to this, there are also career and health services. So universities offer mental health counseling, healthcare, and job search help. They have career fairs for prospective students who are about to graduate. And they also have an international student affairs office where you can go for any visa related questions, any intercultural support, anything that you need regarding your I-20 or anything else for that matter as an international student on campus. So please know these resources before you leave and make sure you utilize them if you need anything at all from any of these categories. Cultural adjustment, this is a good one. So if you are going abroad for the first time and it is for your master's or your PhD degree, then of course it is normal to feel overwhelmed because it is a new campus, it's a new culture, it's a different way of doing things. Even something as simple as driving, you drive on the other side of the road. So just give yourself some time and give yourself a margin to kind of adjust and get used to the new way of doing things. Additionally, please join student organizations and cultural clubs to find like-minded individuals who are coming from similar backgrounds, who are perhaps going through the same struggles, so that you can kind of support each other and encourage each other as you navigate the new landscape. Additionally, academic and social communication is usually more direct in the United States. This means that you are encouraged to ask questions and you will get answers for them. You just need to know what question you have that you are struggling with and who to ask. So for that, there's always the offices and the different centers that I've mentioned. You can go there and ask them who the right person is to get in touch with, be it any issue that you're facing, and the university campus officers will be more than happy to assist. Okay, some practical tips. The first one, please understand the visa regulations, the funding requirements, and the living arrangements before you arrive in the country. So you should know where you're going to be staying and who to receive the key from, what kind of payments need to be made in advance, and who, you might be rooming with if it's a shared dorm. All of this needs to be done before you leave for the United States. You need to have all your immigration documents in order. You need to make sure you're carrying all the important documents that will be required at immigration and check-in upon arrival in the United States. And just make sure you have everything sorted and organized to save yourself from any trouble later onwards. Another great tip is start strong. So you've already done undergrad degrees, you already know this. It's much easier to start with a higher GPA than to, kind of mess up the first semester and then try to catch up and increase your GPA in the final semesters. This is because if you're automatically starting with a 4.0 all A's GPA, right? Now it is up to you to maintain the all A's or to, kind of get less than all A's in the first semester. So try your best that you start off on a strong note and you really put in all your efforts to making sure your GPA remains high so that you are not later struggling to, increase it by taking on extra additional courses, which will cost you extra money as well. Another important tip is to attend orientations. Universities across the United States have student orientations for students who are starting off for the first time in their new programs, and this is a great chance to talk to professors. This is a great chance to kind of like meet the people who will be handling all the logistics while you're staying there, and you will also find out more about campus resources that will help you settle into the campus. Finally, mindset is extremely important. So please have an open, positive mindset when it comes to your new educational endeavors. Be resilient, be proactive, and if you need any help, ask for it. Please just ask for it. Final thoughts. Preparation, curiosity, and support systems are the key to your success. So being one step ahead will always give you an edge. Staying curious about the environment, about the degree that you're pursuing, about the kind of research that you are doing will help you, further expand your horizon and really take advantage of the opportunities that are available to you. And support systems will help you stay on track and save you from any unnecessary delays or any struggles by having, at least a few friends or at least some important colleagues who you can reach out to if you need any help. Some useful tools that you can use to further prepare for your education endeavors is the Education USA library, your official university website, graduate school guides. All of these will give you information that will help you settle in and make the most out of your degree. Finally, make sure you reach out to your university counselor or designated student officer in case of any questions or concerns. They are there to help you out. They are assigned to your file. They will be more than happy to assist you with any queries that you have. Remember, at the end of the day, everyone, be it your advisor at the university, your school counselor, your designated student officer, me, or anybody else, all we want is for you to thrive in your new environment and to perform well in your academic degree and to really make the most out of your experience so that you leave enriched and fulfilled and extremely well prepared for the future goals that you have post graduation. All right, if you still have any questions or you would like to discuss your profile with me in further detail, this is how you can get in touch with us. The first link is to register on our website so that you receive emails about upcoming webinars and different events. The second email address is to get in touch with me directly. My name is Anna Chanda, like I said. And if you email me at this email address, I would be happy to share the scheduling link with you and to meet with you on a one-on-one capacity to guide you about any questions that you have, any background information that you need, and anything else that you need assistance with. All right, now let's move on to questions and answers. If you have any question for me, please type it in the Q&A box and I will take it one by one. All right, the first question is, I'm currently in my second semester of BS Commerce in Pakistan. Is it possible to transfer my credits to a US university to complete my bachelor's degree? Great question. We don't recommend moving in the middle of your degree, especially when you're already halfway through it. It is better for you to complete your bachelor's and then apply for the Fulbright for master's and PhD, or apply directly to US universities for your master's and PhD, but complete your bachelor's over here because you're already halfway through it. And there is no guarantee that all the credits will transfer because there are some courses that don't exist in their system, and there are some courses that we don't have in our curriculum that are extremely important for theirs. So it is important to understand that the diversity of curriculums will also be an important factor. Then there's also the credibility of the institution. There's also the time spent at the institution, the cost. So it's just so much better to pursue your master's or PhD from there and complete your undergrad here if you're already halfway through it. Next, if we don't have a solid grade in our master's research, such as B, does that hurt our chances of PhD acceptance? At the end of the day, you have to remember that be it a master's, be it a PhD, they are academic endeavors. And yes, the institutions that you apply to will look at your GPA. But the beauty of applying to the United States is that your GPA is not the only thing that matters. The US believes in a holistic application process. This means that they will look at your whole application, the different components, also the essay, as well as the CV, as well as the writing sample that you submit, as well as the letters of recommendation that you submit. So everything, and the GRE score that you submit, so everything matters. It's not just about one thing, but GPAs are important. And if you know for a fact that your previous GPA was not as high as you wanted to be, like I said, giving the GRE and securing an extremely high grade in that, ideally above a 320, will significantly improve your chances. Does the choice of state matter when it comes to university selection? Absolutely not. You are free to choose any state that you wish to go to. It's just important to understand the university size, the campus facilities that they have, the weather. That's an important one. Believe me, as somebody who studied from a public university, we had a 1,000-acre campus, and when it would be very cold and it would be snowing, sometimes it would take an hour and a half to cross the campus. So it's important to understand, is that something you're okay with, or are you interested in studying at a smaller campus? So make sure you do your research, and if you don't like the snow, or if you just can't, you don't think you'd be able to adjust in that kind of climate, then you should apply to places that are more, more amenable or more better matched to your preferences based on your past experiences. How can you receive the recording for this session? The recording of the session will be uploaded on our Education USA YouTube page, so please make sure you check back in a week and hopefully you should be able to access it. Do we have to make campus arrangements for dorms before you arrive on campus? Absolutely, yes. You have to make all those arrangements, and the dorms and the graduate housing goes out on a first come, first served basis. So please, as soon as you receive your I-20 and your visa, the first thing you should do is that you should get the dorm situation sorted. How to shortlist universities? Can you tell me which CV format is acceptable in the United States? For this, I would encourage that you email us and I'll have a session with you, a one-on-one, in which I can guide you about the college search process and I can also tell you about the CV formats. How to reach out to the university advisor? The university advisor, the details are mentioned on your I-20 for your DSO, designated student officer. If you generally have any queries that you want answered, you can always ask us as Education USA, or you can reach out to the Graduate Student Affairs office at the university. I have a gap of more than 20 years in my undergrad, my next graduate or PhD. Is it possible to pursue Fulbright? There is no restriction on how old you are, or what your age limit is for the Fulbright. So it's okay if you have a gap. That's not a problem. The question is, what were you doing in that gap? So you need to be ready to justify that gap and to explain what you were doing academically or professionally during that gap, and show how it strengthened your candidacy. Okay. A question about LLMs and LLB. Okay, just if you could just email us and we can have a separate meeting on that. Is a J1 visa holder permitted to work on an on-campus job while studying in the United States? Again, can you please email Karachi@educationusa.org and we can explain in detail to that. We can respond in detail to that. I haven't applied for the Fulbright. Is there any chance to get Fulbright scholarship for 2027 intake? Unfortunately, that's not possible because the 2026 applicants will be the 2027, intake. So what you can do is you can start preparing for your GRE, give the GRE, and then you can apply next year for the 2027 Fulbright, right? So if you apply for Fulbright in 2026 by April 1st, you will start university in fall 2027. So if you apply in 2027, you will be starting university in fall 2028. That's how the Fulbright works. If you have more questions about that, please feel free to email me. I'd be happy to respond. Okay. A question about nursing and the number of years required. Can you please email us? We'd be happy to assist you. Commerce student, which US universities are best for credit transfers, business or accounting? Once again, that's a very detailed question, specific question. We can answer you via email. So send us an email. We'll set up a one-on-one with you or respond to you via email. Masters in CS in Pakistan. How to improve my chances of securing a fully funded PhD? Okay, so master's GPA is excellent. That's great. Please maintain your excellent GPA at the master's level, first of all. And secondly, there are different things that you can do to enhance your profile. If you want to know how you can build your own specific profile even more, please set up a meeting with us by emailing me, and I'll be happy to guide you on how you can further strengthen your profile. Yes, you can absolutely book a separate one-on-one session with an advisor. Just email Karachi@educationusa.org or email at my email address, which I'd already shared with you. Okay. Students who've completed their master's degree and have a study gap of around 2 years without formal work experience, how does this gap typically impact admission decisions and visa approvals? And what factors are considered when evaluating such cases? Okay, so you have to remember that when you apply for any program, it varies from a case-to-case basis. So your application, your profile will be different from another student's application and their profile. There is no one standard profile or standard response that is there for that. As far as how gaps affect your admission decisions, like I said, gaps are fine as long as you can justify why you took a gap and what you were doing during that gap academically and professionally. So how did you utilize that gap to further strengthen your profile, to further increase your skill set, and to become an expert at something that you might be interested in pursuing? If you want to know more about that, please set up a meeting with us. Is a 3.0 GPA okay? A 3.0 GPA is acceptable, of course. With GPAs, the rule of thumb is the higher the better, but 3.0 is the baseline. So that's fine. I want to pursue MS in literature from US and scholarship. Which scholarships offering by US or Pakistani students? This is a very specific question and a very long answer. I'd be happy to assist you in a one-on-one session. Okay, all right. How to approach professors for PhD and how to best present ourselves? That's a great question. We've actually done a webinar in the past on how to, email your professors, emails that actually get read. If you want to see the webinar recording for that, please visit our Education USA YouTube page, or you can email me and I can guide you on this further in a one-on-one session. Okay, degree in 2025 November, you can use still apply. Yes, that should be fine, but again, have a session with us. GRE or IELTS, which one is best? Okay, this is a good question. I want everybody to listen to the answer for this. The GRE and the IELTS are two very different things. The GRE is a standardized test that tests your quantitative as well as verbal skills. IELTS is an English proficiency test. It's similar to Duolingo, Pearson test of English, the TOEFL. So they're completely different things. One is checking how well you can communicate in the English language, and the other one is assessing your readiness for master's and PhD study in the United States. So they're not interchangeable. Okay. Great. I'm going to actually have to stop this now. I will share my email address once more for the people who are asking. It's right here. I will go back to that slide. This is the email address that you can reach me at. Please feel free to address your queries here if you still have any questions. And thank you so much for joining today's session. It was lovely talking to all of you, and I hope you learned something useful. If you still have any questions or if you want customized feedback based on your specific profile, you know how to reach us, and we would be happy to assist you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.